It's no news to anyone that the internet has made us more miserable than the generations of our ancestors. More specifically, and honestly, last year I found myself more insecure about my finances, body, undergraduate career, etc. And maybe you felt the same. This is a problem because as business people, if we're so reactive, we might as well just be gamblers. If we don't address this and start making changes, you'll find yourself more reactive, unhappy, and unsatisfied with your life. And you only have one, so it would really suck if we spent it that way. About at the beginning of this year, I really started changing my mindset on this, and I went to therapy, and I've seen myself become gradually happier on a day-to-day basis. And it really clicked for me when I realized these two things: that the internet is not real, and you ought to invest in the things that are. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. But of course, welcome to Business is Scary, where we dissect various business concepts like money, marketing, and business management with a human-centric approach. If you're interested in such topics, subscribe so you stay notified of all of our weekly content. Now, let's talk about how fake the internet is. What I had to realize, and many people have heard this and they know it, but they don't really understand it. It's hard to make it practical, is that everything on the internet is edited. Success, happiness, even conflict. Look at Instagram comments, and I've done a video about this before, where there's just so much disagreement and polarization inside of comments. And it was absolutely devastating when I found out what AI chatbots are and how people farm engagement by creating content using AI that isn't even a human being that's making a point, but they'll say something controversial and get real humans to debate inside of the comments about it. Or people will put AI inside of comments that aren't even that controversial, and they'll make some crazy statement and completely blow things out of proportion so that people fight in the comments. When I realized this, it was insane. It was crazy to me. And it made me realize that I am out here fighting Instagram bots. But then not only that, I don't even comment on a lot of things unless like I'm saying something funny. I'm reading those comments and I'm having this idea of like, oh my goodness, humans are so screwed, right? I saw this one video where it was this man, he would take a tomato out of like a grocery bag that his wife is like packing with tomatoes, and he'd then show it to her, right? She didn't see it, she's checking other tomatoes, and she'd see it and she'd put it away. She's like, I don't really like that one, right? So then he'd take another one out of the bag of the ones that she picked and show it to her again. She'd look at it, she's like, not really feeling it, right? The whole idea of it is that because it's his suggestion, she doesn't like it, even though it was like her tomatoes that she picked. And that was funny and all. I thought it was funny. I look into the comments because the caption on it was like, oh, this is so sad, whatever, right? You go into the comments and somebody's giving context like, hey guys, just putting this out there, this is a skit, right? Like if you go to the original channel, you will see that this is a skit, and like this is not real. This is not a real interaction. But people in the comments are saying, oh, I've experienced this. Oh man, my wife, whatever, right? And I remember seeing that comment and saying, oh, okay, well, if someone's saying it's a skit, everyone should like calm down, right? I go into the replies and someone's saying, that doesn't change the fact that it triggered me. It's like, what are we talking about? You know it's fake and you're still letting it ruin your day. That was crazy to me. And then it made me realize that the things that are triggering us and the things that, people like their whole day is ruined, their week is ruined, is not even real. Displays of wealth and people showing like this car and that car and these possessions, they don't show you how they financed it. They won't show you any of that. It might not even be real. Like AI is really completely changing the way that we perceive reality on social media.
Fake moon landing footage isn't classified. It's AI.
You're probably wondering how I got rich with crypto. The truth is, I didn't get rich off crypto. I don't even exist.
You might be able to tell this is fake now, but it's gonna keep getting better.
We're all AI.
There could be aliens, but I'm not one of them. I'm AI.
An herbal supplement did not cure my cancer. I'm not even real.
Uncle Fred, the government has not been taken over by lizard people.
You don't need to send us $5,000 in gift cards because you missed jury duty.
Grandma, it's not real. It's AI.
It's AI. It's AI.
Bro, it's AI.
Fake faces.
Real consequences.
Think before you trust.
It's also important to look at the content that is between the fine lines of relatable and us wallowing in our sorrow. The best example of this are videos that talk about the job market. You know, we all know, and all of us are applying to jobs, and we've applied to so many, and it's so hard to even get an interview, let alone a job. And you get a lot of videos where people talk about their experience, and that's good. You know, we have a space where we can all talk about, yeah, I'm struggling with that thing too, and so on. But some videos really take it a step further, and they say, it is the worst. I cannot find anything. This is the worst job market ever. I'm just gonna give up. Like, there's no hope. We're all screwed. And it's like, okay, like, I'm all for relatability, but how much of this is just getting people to just have a defeatist attitude? Over 90%. That's how many of you are not subscribed. If you like the videos, if you like the content, if you found anything engaging, or maybe you didn't like it and you want to, tell us off and tell us why you didn't like it, subscribe. It helps us know what you like, what you don't like, and it helps us make videos that are relevant to you guys. Who doesn't love relevance? I know anyways, subscribe, helps out the channel. We'd highly appreciate it, but that's enough of me. Back to the video. And what really made me shift is just that I would look at content. It's fair because there's so much political turmoil going on right now. And unfortunately, that means that there's a lot of content to be had from those political conflicts. And some people do good with it and they keep us informed and they let us know when something is not being told the right way and not being covered fairly or justly. But there are other people who take that and they really start to boost their engagement from it. And they'll say something really controversial that doesn't help anyone. And they'll spread hate and get you to be more hateful, or they'll make you think that another group is being incredibly hateful first and you ought to get into the comments and say, oh my goodness, screw these guys, right? And I saw myself going down that rabbit hole of feeling powerless and hurt and angry and then jealous and then happy, and then jealous, and then mad again. And it's like this doom scrolling, all these emotions that I'm going through. Like, humans were not created for this. And even looking at the Instagram comments or scary video and all the comments that you guys left under there and talking with you guys there, I can see it in that we're all feeling the same way. It's getting out of hand, it's draining, and honestly, it just makes us not want to do anything. It's like, what's the point? And I had to realize that it's not real. It's not real. Like, that is the phone. And that is somebody, their point of view doesn't necessarily need to be my point of view. And their conflict in the comments and so on, that doesn't need to be my life. And that's not necessarily a reflection of my world either. That's when I realized that I ought to invest in the things that are real. And it took me experiencing those real things that happen inside of my life and taking a moment to pause and say, oh my goodness, this is awesome. This is great. Or when I come home and I just hung out with people, I realized, like, that was incredibly fun. That was restful. We talked about things that, like, were heavy, but like reflective. And I feel like I got to know this person better, and I feel like I got to be known better. And by talking about my experience in a reflective manner helped me also see it in a different light and maybe make peace with it and so on. I implore you, please go and invest in what is real. Go out, nature, take it in, take a walk, pet a cat. I've been doing that. My roommate has a cat. I pet her sometimes. It's amazing. It calms me down, and it's just me and the cat. and we're just sitting, and I'm like, this is a beautiful moment. I love this so much. Even yapping with your friends, social media will have you thinking that that's a waste of time, and if you're not talking about business and money, you're wasting your time. It's dumb. I remember one time I had just finished studying, and I was about to like leave the TMU library, and I bumped into a friend I hadn't seen in a really long time, and we started talking and stuff, and I'm telling him about some stuff that happened, changes inside of my life from the past year. I'm telling him about, how I'm like going to therapy, this and that stuff that I'm working on. And he's telling me about, school, and he's thinking about going back home to Nigeria and stuff, and just like how his undergrad was overall. And we're talking, we're catching up. And that was beautiful. Like, that was such a great moment. I'm talking with this guy, and like I already studied, so I don't really have anything else to do in the day. I have time to kill. He has time to kill. And we're just talking, and we're getting to know each other again and stuff like that. It's a superhuman moment. Not a phone in sight, no distractions. It's just me and him, and we're just standing inside the library hallway. And I'm so glad that I got this update before he decided to like move back home and stuff, or go to a different school that's like not in Canada. It was a great experience. And I love those experiences. Like, I've been spending more time with friends, I'll be spontaneous. Sometimes I just want to like put my head down and like edit videos, and have a batch done for the next week and stuff. And a friend will be like, yo, let's go bike riding. And at first I was like, bro, I'm really trying to like bike ride. Like, I have stuff to do. I was like, what is 1 hour? I can spare 1 hour to go bike riding, right? We hit up the harbor front area, You're not from here, like there's a beautiful lakeshore area. We biked in one direction for 30 minutes, explored a bit of the city, 30 minutes back from a different route, but still on the way back. And then I parked the bike like in front of a grocery store and then ran errands there, right? You can have these real moments and still be productive. We look at social media and we see this person doing a project, that person getting bought out, this person working on this huge startup, and we just think, oh my goodness, like, what am I doing? I'm doing nothing. I'm wasting my time just sitting here doing internships. You were happy about it before, and now you're looking at it, it's like, man, I'm not even making my own company. Start a dumb project. Feel frustration. Learn from it. Those are real emotions. It's not the same frustration as going on an Instagram or TikTok comment section and seeing people fight back and forth about a dumb point, or you see somebody be like blatantly racist online, right? That's not the same frustration. One is completely outside of you and you're an onlooker and you'll feel powerless. The other is that you are failing at something and it's within your power, and you can tweak it, and the frustration comes from not exactly having the answer, but you're working towards the solution. That is a better and more sustainable frustration to have, because that will lead to triumph later. Either that you find the solution, or you figure it out through some other third party and now you learned about it and you feel smarter. We do not want to have quick hits of emotions. It almost becomes like a drug. You produce dopamine naturally by just doing fun things or doing exciting things inside of your life. But we can get what I see it as artificial dopamine in these external factors of just experiencing things that are super highs and super lows and stuff, and we get deregulated this way. When we have more of a slower life, we get dopamine from going outside and seeing trees, and the wind hits it in a certain way, and it makes that like tree sound. That's a beautiful thing. And at least for me, when I see that it's so beautiful that I'm like, that was amazing, that was great, and I get dopamine from that, right? Or when I'm yapping with friends on the couch just talking about a different business idea or something that didn't work in the past, and how we would do it in a different way, and I'm getting dopamine by hearing their solutions and thinking, actually, that's a pretty good idea and stuff, right? Do not accept quick hits of dopamine. Do not accept it. It becomes like a drug, a vice. That's why no matter how angry Instagram makes you, or TikTok makes you, or YouTube Shorts makes you, you keep coming back. There's something so addictive about that feeling of frustration. When you pry yourself out of that and you find more sustainable ways of feeling anger or frustration or letting that out, we become human again. and our life becomes real. Those are real emotions. Those are real feelings. And those are things that you look back and it's within yourself. So it's like you can work on them. I feel like I'm yapping. I'm not telling you to be completely spontaneous, blow $2,000 on your credit card, credit and forget it. I think there does need to be balance. But you need to start looking at your life in a way that it's not just, can I afford this? No, it's what can I afford? What can I afford to do with my time? What can I afford to pay for? I can't see my friend this weekend. When can I see them? And start making these things fit. We need to feel, experience, and invest in real emotions for when business starts getting scary, because trust me, it definitely will.